Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So do me a favor before we get into these topics. If you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. If you are new here to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with some good news for Final Fantasy 16. This is being reported by Push Square. They say despite being over 2 months away from launch, Final Fantasy 16 has started to rocket up to the bestsellers chart on Amazon, and this is the case in both the US and Europe. These charts are based on sales of already released games as well as pre-orders, but generally speaking, you don't see pre-orders rise all that high until very close to a title's launch. Final Fantasy 16 has actually managed to top the PS5 bestsellers on Amazon US, overtaking the likes of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is coming out in 2 weeks, and mainstream mega hit NBA 2K23. In the UK and other European regions, the action RPG hasn't quite claimed #1, but it's moved up a bunch of places in an extremely short amount of time, and chances are it'll only climb higher from this point on. Obviously, Amazon sales charts don't paint a complete picture, but they're often indicative of commercial trends given the sheer popularity of the online retailer. It's also worth mentioning that Final Fantasy 16 is flying up the overall gaming bestseller charts as well, which includes hardware and accessories as well as games, currently in the top 50 in the US and top 100 in Europe. This is clearly due to the state of play that happened yesterday, which I did watch, and I'm sure many of you did as well, but yeah, this is kind of what I suspected would happen once this state of play for Final Fantasy 16 happened. A lot of people feeling like, you know what, I'm sold on this game, I'm going to go pre-order it. And I know that there are a lot of people who are against pre-ordering games, but I feel like for a title like Final Fantasy 16, it's a pretty safe bet. So let me know if it's a game you pre-ordered or not, or if it's a game you're going to be playing day one. Next up, we have a major update on Media Molecule. This is a first-party PlayStation studio that we haven't talked too much about in recent years, but we have a big update that lets us know, #1, Dream support is coming to an end, and #2, Media Molecule is working on a brand new IP. This is being reported by Gaming Bolt. It says Media Molecule has announced that it is ending support for Dreams later this year on September 1st, which will be over 3.5 years from the game's original launch. The studio is shifting focus to a new project and has decided to go all in on it rather than dividing attention across continued support for Dreams and the production of a new game. What does this mean for Dreams in precise terms? The game will continue to receive updates between now and September 1st, but past that date, Media Molecule will not be releasing any new content for the game. The game itself will still remain online though, so players will be able to play and continue to share new creations with each other. We're very proud of Dreams and grateful for the way you, the community, have embraced it and all it has to offer, the developer explains. Whilst we've always had the desire to build on the foundation of Dreams and expand the experience, when reviewing our plans, we were not able to define a sustainable path. We made the decision to change the studio product strategy. This is obviously disappointing to many people inside and outside of Media Molecule. However, we are incredibly excited for what will come next. So naturally, the next thing that people are going to wonder is, what is this new game that Media Molecule is working on? Is it a sequel to Dreams? And it's worth noting that Media Molecule says that they're working on a new project. They're not ready to talk about it yet, and they can confirm that it's not Dreams 2 or the Dreams IP. So I think that's pretty important to talk about because it's understandable considering how long Dreams has been supported for that some people might think, well, maybe they're working on a sequel. They don't say whether or not it's going to be a brand new IP, like some people are thinking maybe they'll go back to Little Big Planet, but I don't think that's likely. If I had to guess, I'd say they're working on a brand new IP. It just makes sense. Media Molecule has spent a lot of time and effort on Dreams, and Dreams is now coming to an end. I think this would be just a really great opportunity for a studio like Media Molecule to just do something brand new, something very different from Little Big Planet, something very different from Dreams. And so, yeah, that's all we know right now about their future project. That's the update we have for Dreams. And so it is sad to see that Dreams is coming to an end, but it's also very exciting to see that Media Molecule is going to, start working on a new project. And when we get new information on it, I'll be sure to update you guys and let you know what's going on. Moving to the next topic, we have a pretty significant sales update regarding the PlayStation 5. This is being reported by WCCF Tech. Thus far, 2023 has been the year of the PlayStation 5, with new numbers out of the UK providing more evidence of Sony's hot streak. According to GfK Group sales data, as reported by GamesIndustry.biz, UK console sales were up 24% in the first quarter of the year, with the increase entirely driven by the red-hot PS5. Sales of Sony's machine were up 180% year-on-year compared to Q1 2022. Meanwhile, sales for the Nintendo Switch were down 25%, and the Xbox Series X consoles were down 18%, with the Switch coming in second place and the Xbox Series consoles coming in third place. So it seems like for every month of 2023 so far, we've been talking about just how insanely well the PS5 has been doing, and it seemed like maybe it was going to slow down or come to a stop, but that doesn't seem to be the case. These stats are absolutely ridiculous. Console sales would have been way down if it weren't for the PS5. It's safe to say the PS5 is literally carrying console gaming in the UK right now in terms of sales, because that 24% increase is solely due to the PS5. And hearing that the PS5 is 180% up year on year is very good. But something else I did come across is that apparently in the UK, half of all console sales, 50% of all console sales were the PS5. So in other words, the PS5 is responsible for half of the entire console sale pool, which is crazy to think about. So yeah, it's just good news in general. I always tell people the reason why you might want to pay a little bit of attention to sales like this is because if you're somebody who's playing on PS5 and it's your preferred platform, or even if it's just a platform that you spend a lot of time and money on, seeing the console sell really well means it's going to continue to get more and more developer support as the years go on, which, you know, if you're a consumer, that's going to matter to you. So there you go. PS5, its hot streak is not slowing down. It's not stopping anytime soon. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. We're going to move on to the final topic though, which is an interesting rumor regarding Spider-Man 2. Now, I'm going to encourage you to take this rumor with a grain of salt, but we are getting closer to the release of Spider-Man 2, and with that, we may begin to hear more rumors. This is being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, and it says Marvel's Spider-Man 2 for PS5 will reportedly come with the dimension-shifting feature seen in Insomniac games Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The feature, which was widely praised when it was introduced in 2021, allows players to move between different areas instantaneously. The aforementioned rumor comes from longtime YouTuber Hip Hop Gamer. While we can't say Hip Hop Gamer has an impeccable track record, he does have a history of accurate leaks, par for the course when it comes to most leakers. Nevertheless, the second part of Hip Hop Gamer's report is a bit more questionable than the first. According to him, Spider-Man 2 will be part of a multiverse, but it's unclear if he's basing that on the rumored inclusion of the dimension shifting mechanic or not. So far, there's no indication that Spider-Man 2 will be part of a multiverse. Whatever the case, fans seem concerned about the rumor. While the ability to move quickly between the game's world is welcome, many say that they are growing tired of the multiverse and simply want a grounded Spider-Man experience. But as of right now, obviously, we have to take this with a massive pinch of salt because Insomniac hasn't shown anything of Spider-Man 2. And, you know, that's the thing here is when it comes to the individual Hip Hop Gamer, I mean, look, apparently he has gotten things in the past correct, but he's also been a bit shaky with other things. But what I will say, and why I'm inclined to actually believe this, is because the notion of Insomniac wanting to take one of the biggest features that they've come out here with the PS5, that being the dimension shifting from Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and wanting to find a way to incorporate that into their biggest game, that being Spider-Man 2, which will be a PS5 only title, it makes complete sense. Now, some people are expressing, as the article points out, some disappointment at the possibility of Insomniac deciding to go with the multiverse route. A lot of people are beginning to feel a bit fatigued. A lot of people were hoping that this would just be a, as it says, grounded Spider-Man story. But again, we don't know if this is true. What I will say to add on top of all of this is that when we look back to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, people were incredibly impressed by what they were seeing, and it's still incredibly impressive. We haven't really seen anything like it since it came out in 2021 and what it was able to do. And the big reason why it was such a big deal was because the whole build up to the PS5 and the conversation around the PS5 was about how fast this console was, the I/O throughput, zero bottlenecks, the speed of the SSD, and how it could potentially change game development and allow game developers to do things that simply weren't possible previously and wouldn't be possible on anything outside of the PS5 hardware unless it was like, you know, insanely optimized. And so that's where I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know, it kind of does make sense, doesn't it? It does make sense that Insomniac invested this time and energy into coming up with this unique feature that got a lot of praise that still hasn't been replicated. To take that and put it into something like Spider-Man 2, it sounds like a winning combination there. So yeah, I know that we talked about that rumor that came out. It was corrected where there was a toy for Spider-Man 2 for PS5, and they did mention the multiverse, and then they came out and they said, wait, no, actually that was a mistake. I'm now beginning to wonder if maybe it wasn't a mistake, and if it wasn't, then it would add a little bit of credibility to this rumor. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but at this point, when it comes to Spider-Man 2, I would not be surprised at all if Insomniac has been hiding something up their sleeve this whole time, that when they finally come out and show the first gameplay demo of this, it's going to absolutely shock people and blow people away. I think that there are some people who are anticipating that when we see Spider-Man 2, it's just going to look like a better version of Spider-Man 2018, which I think a lot of people would be happy with, but I don't know, man. When I think about Insomniac, I think about PlayStation Studios. Something tells me that they're likely going to try to pull something off here that's going to make this thing go from, wow, this looks incredible, to they're doing it again. How is Insomniac actually doing this again? They are blowing our minds. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's something that they're working on right now. So there you go. That's the latest rumor regarding Spider-Man 2, and I'm going to be very interested to see what you guys have to say about it. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.